Hey, peace world. Excuse me. We jump right into it with some pay me no mind / bite down boxing talk. Good fight coming up this weekend on Showtime, Championship Boxing, between unified super welterweight champion Jermell Charlo and I believe it's the WBO champion Charlo-Castãno. They're running it back. It's taking a little while to get here, but not too long to see these guys go back at it. I talked about the chief support bout yesterday on the way home with Jerron Ennis and Custio Clayton out of Canada. So that will be an excellent fight as well, in my opinion. A good opponent for Jerron Ennis, Boots. So we'll see how that goes. But I don't have a lot of thoughts on the main event, other than I do expect it to be a good fight with the chance to possibly be a great fight. You know, with it being a draw in the first fight, it's going to be competitive. I see Vegas has Charlo, or had him. He either is or was at a 2-1 favorite. I give Castãno a good chance to win the fight. I give him a solid chance to win the fight. But I think, Charlo, I agree with him being the favorite and whatnot. But I think what the problem is for Charlo in this fight is that Charlo, in my opinion, really isn't he's really not the most sophisticated boxer. He's not a guy that wins. I don't want to say he's not a smart boxer, but he's not a guy that wins by outfoxing opponents or, outthinking his opponents and whatnot. He's basically a solid athlete, or a good athlete, good power, and always trying to win. Always hustling. But I just think against an opponent like Castãno, who can take a good punch, and has already went to 12 rounds with him, I just think it's going to be. I don't know if he stops Castãno, but with him not being like a defense first guy, a safety first guy, he doesn't take a lot of time off in the ring, during the fight. He's just going to be there to get hit by a guy that's as active as Castãno is through the first 4 to 5 rounds. Like, his game, Charlo's game isn't going to be able to come out and be some defensive wizard for the first 4 to 5 rounds and let Castãno burn off some of that energy and maybe slow down a little bit before Charlo would start to go to work on him. Like, it's going to be a fight from the beginning. And, a guy like Castãno is going to score some points and be able to settle into the fight and, win two or 3 rounds in the first half of the fight. So I think it's just a good matchup for us fans, and that it's going to be some good action. Both guys may be able to hurt each other. Maybe there is a knockdown or a knockout, in this bout. Maybe. But I'm pulling for Charlo. And it's an awesome opportunity for him to become an undisputed champion. I think is only 7, or he beat a 7th in the 4 belt era. So excellent opportunity for him. But nothing is a given. And I think another thing that's key for Charlo, him and his brother, man, them are 2 tightly wound brothers. Really emotional dudes. Can he manage his emotions and his energy, throughout the fight? and just not get out over his skis, you know, not rush into anything or you know, get out of what's made him successful. I did read the article on Boxing Scene yesterday about him talking about previously he gotten on his superstar thing. He gotten on his superstar Charlo or something, and gotten away from a lot of the basics. So in doing this, he got rid of a lot of guys who didn't have a purpose in being around, and you know, a lot of guys who didn't contribute to him being the type of you know, a championship boxer and probably living a boxer's life or a boxer's lifestyle. So you know, that most guys talk this kind of stuff after flirting with defeat or narrowly escaping defeat or losing their titles. You know, most of these guys do some kind of self-inventory and go clean up some things. They talk about this, rededicating themselves, being more conscious of, more disciplined in camp, and you know, refocusing on the little things and the fine details and all that type of stuff. Who knows if, you know, if it's just him sitting there answering questions because he had to meet with the media. Who knows? You know, and it's probably hit and miss on the guys when you do let things get away from you in that manner. It's probably hit and miss in the guys who are able to really benefit from this personal life cleanup and cleaning up the inner circle. You know, if you let most of them, if they allow things to get that bad, and usually this is when you start consistently fighting world-class guys. You know, if you started losing sight of how sharp you need to be and how dedicated you need to be, I'm willing to bet most of the guys kind of don't reverse things. You know, it's usually the guys who've maintained the discipline and kept things in order and maintain some sense of hunger and professionalism. Usually those are the dudes that do better once the competition level is consistently higher. These guys who got to go and get themselves together just because of who they're fighting, you usually got some character issues as a fighter. Your makeup as a fighter, you usually got some things going on that you can't really overcome once you're consistently fighting world-class dudes. So I put maybe some other, and I can't remember who the third fight is on the telecast, but I think it's a pretty solid triple header. I just cannot recall whatsoever who the opening bout is. But anyway, looking at the NBA last night, man, just a crazy ending in Boston for Milwaukee and the Celtics. You know, the Celtics were running away with the game most of the game, and then you know, for Milwaukee to pull it out at the end with Giannis and this group of others, you know, up and down, Drew Holiday, the kid from Duke, you know, not really, you know, he had 2 games where he averaged over 20 points. Then the rest of them, he's averaging under 4. Connaughton is, in my opinion, is not the game's best 3-point specialist. I didn't see a lot of Hill last night, but maybe I just missed his time. Matthews out there, kind of a piece guy, a role guy. Bobby Porter's doing stuff in bits and pieces. I just didn't even see how, when Giannis took that last break, and I thought they were down like 79-91 or something. And I thought it was pretty much over with. That seemed to be like the final spurt that was going to put Milwaukee away. Again, they just don't really have the shooting and the shot makers, to keep coming back. But then I turned around and they had a three-point play, maybe a couple of threes, and were right back in it. And I was like, damn, these dudes are really in Boston trying to get this victory. So comes down, Smart came up with the ball, tried to bring the ball up after Milwaukee had the lead. I think that was on a free throw situation, maybe. Drew had the good block, the great block that stopped them from tying it up or getting within one or whatever. And then on the next possession for the Celtics, they go to bring the ball up the court, and Drew Holiday strips Marcus Smart. So, again, it's just a weird postseason, man, because it's not necessarily a bunch of superstars. The true elite dudes in the league are all at home, or mostly at home. So we got dudes like Marcus Smart in a clutch moment handling the ball. And normally we wouldn't see a guy of his, at his level with the last second ball. Then on the other side of the map, we get out here with the Warriors and Memphis and going into this thing, Steph actually borrows from the Memphis fans chant of "whoop that trick" and tells the reporter that that's what the mentality is for this game 5, was to whoop that trick. And they go out here and lose 135-94 or something, or 134-95. And, interestingly, Dylan Brooks is out here really trying to intimidate Steph Curry and taking some cheap shots, talking, bodying them up and pushing them around a little bit as they make their way up the court when Steph doesn't have the ball, and when he's away from the ball, maybe running his cuts and whatnot. Brooks is over there trying to be a little chippy, and interesting to go at it in that manner, because he looks like, offensively, Dylan Brooks looks like shit right now. I don't know what's going on. I watched the dude go on, put the team on his back at times when he was in Oregon. But some of the shots that he's taking right now as a pro, he's looking really bad out there. Not really getting his feet set up to take the shots, or getting squared up with the bucket, throwing some shit up that doesn't have a chance to go in. He can't really find his shot from outside, so maybe that's not helping him out. But then when he tries to go and create, he just doesn't look good in that, trying to attack and just not looking like a decent finisher whatsoever. He might have had double digits last night or something. I saw him get a couple of buckets, but just in general, with him not having much of an outside shot at the moment, he just looks horrible offensive with his game right now. But to turn around and take the failure and the struggles from the offensive end, and to come over here after getting the flagrant 2 and ejected in game 1 or game 2 in this series for the hit that resulted in the fractured left elbow of Gary Payton II. And now to go over here and be the heel against one of the more beloved players in the league, and Steph Curry, you got to do what you got to do to win. Scrape, claw, bite, and whatever. You got to figure out a way to contribute. But I don't know. Excuse me. It just looks I don't know, it looked like some sucker shit to me seeing it on TV. But, oh, that's where I need to go today. But from what I can tell, though, you know, to get a 39-point victory, you know, 39-point margin on the victory, hey, you know, maybe it's paying some dividends. I continue to talk about, you know, I've mentioned it before, I don't know what's going on with the coaching staff, the skills guys, player development for Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr, but I just don't understand why nobody's had a conversation with Draymond about tightening up his off. I did see him shoot a three-pointer last night. Not the most confidence in the world in shooting it, and he didn't make it. But the dude is just, for him to be directing the offense as much as he does at the top of the key and bringing the ball up and getting things going. It's weird to watch it that he's almost Ben Simmons-like in that if he's inside of the 3-point arc, he doesn't really look at the rim to take a real shot. Like, he doesn't shoot a pull-up shot. He had to shoot I think it got late in the clock last night, and he had to throw up a floater. And it looked weird because you can see that he's like, I don't want to take a jump shot. I'm not comfortable, for whatever reason, shooting jump shots from the free throw line in. But it wasn't like the running floater. It was like from a jump shot position, and then he just turned it into a floater. I think it went in, though. But again, I don't know why this isn't something that isn't, because they need his offense. You know, you can't have a guy that handles the ball that much and the defense can almost start relying on him to just solely look for the pass. Like, if he doesn't have a dunk or a layup opportunity, he's kind of just looking to pass. He is looking to pass. And, you know, now that the guy that's defending him is, you know, looking to get into passing lanes and looking to help out on the cutters and any backdoor opportunities and stuff like that, because you can count on him not to take the shot. If he's 6 feet away, 8 feet away, he's really not a threat to score the ball. So I just don't know why there's no emphasis on, like, there's no coaching at this stage in his career to get him to have some options that he can get a good shot off in those situations where he's gotten, you know, foul line below. You got to figure out, you got to get comfortable with taking a shot and making the defense pay. Because then all the passes that you're trying to make, those passes will start opening up because people either have to go rebound, you know, they have to box out to get a rebound, or they have to guard him. But if you just sitting around 6 feet, 4 feet away from the basket, and they know 90% of the time you're passing the ball, then they defend you differently, and they help, their help defense is different. So I don't know, you know, that I don't know how he got here to where he just looks so lost without being at a comfortable angle. And I think, like I said, I think that was one thing early on. I think Steven Adams may have been guarding him, or the Clark kid. But when he's below, foul line below, you just let him dribble it out and do whatever he's gonna do, waste some seconds on the clock, and you just dare him to shoot. So anyway, good fight this weekend on Showtime, 3 fights. We'll see what happens. Let me get on out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.